Hello friends, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. Today's case is going to be a part of a two-part series. This first case, I'm going to give you the information. About 2 weeks, I'm going to actually be going up and helping with a nonprofit help for the disappearance of Shirley Baumann. This case takes place in North Bend, Washington, which is in Kings County. Shirley was last seen camping up the Middle Fork Road in North Bend, Washington, not to be confused with Bend, Oregon. This was on July 20th of 2020. She was hiking the Quartz Creek Trail to Lake Blethen, but unfortunately this was on July 20th and she didn't return on July 22nd of 2020 as planned. Of course, an extensive search and rescue attempt was out, but I'm putting all these maps up so you can see the terrain and you can see how embedded this lake and area is. A foot search would be just almost impossible. They, of course, struggled with that because there's just so many mountains and valleys and caverns. It's a beautiful area once you get in there. As you can see, there's lots of beautiful lakes and trees and all that kind of beautiful stuff that campers and hikers love. Shirley was one of those people that was a very experienced hiker and outdoors person. She would go walking every day. She was 21 at the time, 61 at the time of her disappearance. She was roughly 5'5" and 145 pounds, blonde brownish hair. Unfortunately, that was the last anyone ever saw of her. We do know that on the day of her disappearance, she was wearing brown sunglasses. She did have a cell phone, but unfortunately, it was not a smartphone. We do know that her brother dropped her off earlier in the day and then brought the car back for her to obviously have a way to get home. According to most of the search and rescue, they devoted over 3,000 hours searching the Snoqualmie River, Middle Fork, and North Bend. The main search and rescue team was the Kings County Search and Rescue, and they used both helicopters and dogs and all of their resources. Unfortunately, throughout just even a week, they just found nothing. They repeatedly would go back and forth. They did find Shirley's car. Unfortunately, this didn't help indicate anywhere where she was dropped off at except for the trail where she began her hike. The dogs actually reportedly able to pick up her scent on the trail and nail where her campsite was. Her camping gear was discovered, but there was no sign of Shirley. This was bizarre because this woman was very experienced, so why would she leave her campsite with all her gear left behind? Did something lure her away? Did she just decide to go for a short walk and then something happened? We don't know because that's all the information that we really have. This private nonprofit organization, which I'm going to tell you about because they have been working so hard. Even though this case happened over 2 years ago, they have put in hours and hours looking for this woman. Obviously, at this point, it's a recovery mission, most likely. I wanted to give them a shout out because it's a company I'm going to be working with and helping with. They are, like I said, a nonprofit, and they are doing all they can to try and help find people that go missing, and they don't have a lot of funding. This company that I'm working with is called Wilderness Search Investigations. It's run by a man named Trey, who is an absolutely wonderful individual. I'm sure you guys would all love him, and I just want to bring more attention to his company and all the things that he's doing because I'm going to be working a lot with him. He sets up searches all the time, every other weekend, whenever he can, even when the person has been missing for 2, 3, 4 years. He just has a great big heart, and I know that all of you would appreciate the work that he's doing and trying to do. They are currently only out of the state of Washington, but they are trying to expand and be able to help more people. I am in the next 2 weeks, actually on August 13th, I'm going up there and I'm meeting with their CEO. We're going to go out on another search looking for Shirley. We have a couple of other ideas because unfortunately, after so much time goes by, this is by no means a slight to search and rescue, but unfortunately, they just don't have the manpower or resources or money to be able to keep funding a search after maybe 1 or 2 weeks. With these nonprofits, we go in and we just keep searching. We get donations and we look for ways to help the families try and get closure, because that's really, even if they know that it's probably not a good outcome, having that closure is better than having no answers at all. You have to understand that private searches, just a helicopter or a drone team, it can be up to $10,000 to $15,000 a day. So we need all the help we can get, and by you guys watching and just even contributing by subscribing and following along, it helps us to help these families get closure. You know how it goes. People lose interest in the case, so they just forget about it. And of course, that's not fair to the families. The families want closure. In some of these areas up where she disappeared, it is insane. I mean, that's why I'm going to show you all these pictures and maps, because there are a few things that could have happened, but one of the things that could have happened was she just was going up the Quartz Creek Trail and fell, and something happened where she went over a cliff, but the dogs were able to pick up her scent. It would be bizarre for someone like Shirley, who was very experienced, not to take any of her gear with her. This area is of course loaded with creeks and streams. It's possible maybe she took her footwear off to try and cross a stream, maybe fell into a stream. It's just impossible to know because we don't have any more information aside from what we do. The fact that she went out on this hike, which she was very familiar with. She was supposed to be back 2 days later and she never turned up. The most bizarre part is that they did find all her gear. I think it's important to point out that her gear was found by the helicopter searches that they were doing, not by the ground searches. As indicated in the beginning of this video, the area is very treacherous, many large cliffs, making it very hard to search on foot. According to the Kings County Sheriff's Office, the search and rescue volunteers spent, like I said, over 3,000 hours searching near, in, and around the Snoqualmie Middle Fork area of North Bend. Unfortunately, aside from finding her gear, that was all that they found. Unfortunately, on July 28th of 2020, the ground search was suspended, but the helicopter search continued, and that's when her camping gear was found. But unfortunately, there was still no sign of Shirley. Despite the search having ended, my friend Trey at Wilderness Search Investigations has continued to send out search parties and look for her. In 2 weeks, like I said, I will be going up to assist him with a search. We will be going out a search on our own. Of course, I will leave one of the angel coins that I leave with all of the missing people that I search for. My thoughts and prayers go out to Shirley's family, her friends, and everybody that helped look for her. And who knows, lightning could strike. Maybe she's still out there. Maybe she has amnesia. Maybe she's just living in another town somewhere and doesn't know what happened. These things can happen. Unfortunately, that's usually not the case. However, that's not going to stop us from continuing to always do our best and search and rescue and basically put our lives at risk to look for those that are missing, because I find that it is very important to help try and bring these families closure and bring their family members home. I will be talking more about Wilderness Search Investigations. That's the nonprofit organization that I'll be working with once I meet with Trey, the CEO, and we go out on our search, which I'll also have documentation and footage of, which I will report to you and show you anything that we find. I just want to say once again, thank you guys all for watching, all your support. Just wishing you guys all the best and hoping you're having a great summer. I want to send a special thank you to co.ag for the background music. I appreciate it, and they are always amazing. I also wanted to say a special shout out to Wilderness Search Investigations, to Trey and all his extra efforts that he puts in looking for the missing, even years after they have gone missing. He is an amazing man. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me till the end. Like I said, I will be going up north to this actual area and going out with Trey and doing another search. Hopefully we can find some other clues or something that can at least lead us to something that maybe can bring Shirley back to her family. In any event, I appreciate all of your feedback, all of your comments, and thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Hey everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for all the nice comments and feedback that you left me during my last video. I've always been shy to show myself in any videos, but my back and ribs are feeling a lot better and I'm making progress, so I appreciate all your feedback and I'll see you next time.